I'm so excited to have Ted here next to me with a Red Epic. We just came from Red Day today and just saw an excellent presentation that Ted did, and Michael Cioni from Light Iron.
Good to see you.
Oh yeah.
And congrats on everything you've been doing. I don't know if your viewers know how successful you've been with the Red Ones in your part of the world, in Vietnam, and it's been absolutely unbelievable, right? The uptake and the level of sophistication and what you guys have been shooting. Pretty non-stop, right?
Yeah, non-stop.
Features out. So what you're looking at here, even though it looks relatively small and slim and you wouldn't think a body like this could be a full-on cinema camera that would achieve film level resolution and the kind of sensibility of a cinema camera, but that's exactly what this is. This is an Epic, so it's a 5K camera, meaning it resolves theatrical 4K level quality to the screen, to the big screen, which of course you saw in the first presentation.
Yeah.
So we've been screening footage. It has a super next generation sensor in it. It's called the X sensor. So its low light performance is unbelievable because its noise floor is so clean that we're able to just really work a very wide dynamic range from highlights to shadows, and it's proof's in the pudding. Don't take my word for it. Look at the footage, and it's mind-blowing how good it is. This is our new 17 to 50 zoom lens, which will be shipping soon. This is the little 2.8-inch LCD screen, and in this configuration, believe it or not, this camera is fully ready to shoot. I don't need to add anything. I've got a battery in the grip. I've got media that goes right here in the CF card reader, which will get up to 64 gigs pretty soon, so we'll have a nice long run there. I control the entire device wirelessly via something called a Red Mote, which is our version of a remote. So all the things that you touch on the back of a Red One, plus plenty more, because remember this is still and motion, right? It's a true hybrid camera, and it shoots 5K stills and 5K motion. I can go on and on. I mean, it's modular in the fact that we can, for a studio job, we can add modules to this, like a pro audio-video module to run audio in and out and send out signals to Video Village, but halfway through the shooting day, ready to shoot some steady cameras and handheld, you don't need all that extra weight and bulk. Strip it off, you go right into this, and you go shooting.
Yeah, that's amazing.
This is definitely the camera that people want.
Yeah, and out of curiosity, you probably haven't had time enough to test this, but how many modules can you stack? Is there
Quite a few. At some point it'll just get unwieldy, and there would be no reason for it. But we have an audio-video module, a dual compact flash module, so you can do rollover compact flash, an SSD module for long runs. Of course, the battery modules that you can get up to 4 batteries in for long runs, for running for a few hours of time.
Yeah, and something I just saw online was the new proxy module, and that's exciting. Being able to pump out H.264s. And I also noticed like a gig Ethernet. What's that about?
Yeah. So the proxy module is just one of many solutions, and this is just the first of many flexible options. Right. The goal with this is all about flexibility. So the H.264 module, at the same time we're shooting the 5K red code, allows us to record to a very lightweight codec for dailies, but that's very high quality. And we can also, because the camera is controlled via Wi-Fi, like wireless signals, we can send that signal over the air, right, over Wi-Fi to the set, so people can look at it on their iPads or their laptops, anything that has an 802.11 connection. Or, in most uses, what you'll do is record it, pop the module off, and then download that module, and you've got your instant dailies right there without even having to process it. But the goal is, obviously, the key important thing is shooting the red code at super high resolution and getting sort of instant offline and instant dailies.
So the gigabit Ethernet, is that to also record?
Similar. Well, it's a future sort of standard, so all the specs haven't been announced yet on what we're doing for it. A lot of people can sort of figure out in terms of being able to stream. You don't want to send it wirelessly, obviously. Stream it via wire for even higher quality signal that can move over wires. Send protocols, control the camera. It's a very low cost interface and pure cables.
So one of the things I was also wondering is now you have the Epic coming out, and out of curiosity, with the Scarlet, do you know, has it been set yet? Whether or not I'm getting Epic no matter what, without a doubt. And then I'd also like to get Scarlet as B cameras. Will Red owners still have kind of like a first dibs on that by chance?
So the only thing we've announced so far is that you have first dibs on Epic.
Right.
We are always doing our best to look out in as many ways as we possibly can for the early customers, for the customers that had faith in us and believed in us and essentially made this company successful. As we continue to grow and stuff, the business dynamics change a little bit. Scarlet's going to have a much wider audience, even though this audience is remarkably large for a camera like this. It's never, these kind of cameras, starting with the Red 1 and then this is now the Epic, have never ever been sold in the volume that our companies do. So, long term, everything's subject to change. We keep looking out, but we're always going to look out for you. That's part of the goal.
Yeah. So
and you guys too.
And so this lens right now might be shipping in a couple of months then?
Should be less than a month. That's our target. It's pretty near term.
Oh, I see. And then what's the retail price on this?
$6,000.
$6,000.
So this is super high quality, 17 to 50 zoom, short throw zoom. The same kind of optical and field mechanics on this thing. This is no slouch. Just like the Red Pro Primes, but without paying that crazy high cinema price tag for really high quality cinema glass.
Can you add more than one battery module or more than one I/O module on the back?
Likely, yes. We just, we're sort of at a stage now where we're sussing all that out and find out what the viable pathways are. The one battery module is super flexible. There's one that will actually hold 4 batteries.
Right.
You may not actually need one.
For sure. But say you're gonna be out in the wilderness for 48 hours straight.
Oh, doing time lapse or something.
Yeah, it might be possible.
Yeah, the beauty of this system, because of this modular concept, is there's no reason we can't do any of those things. It's just market demand driven.
Gotcha.
Do enough customers want it so that we can actually build a module specific to that. If only 2 guys want it, it's not going to make sense. But if hundreds to thousands want some sort of specific module that makes sense from an engineering standpoint, there's no reason we wouldn't build it.
The battery life, grip batteries, what's the battery life on?
Figure 30 to 40 minutes in 24 frame 5K mode.
Okay.
So it's, it'll run a logical amount of time. It won't be like 5 minutes. You need to have real runtime. Because this camera is so flexible and can shoot high speed at high frame rate, you will draw higher power when you're doing that without being a specialty mode of the camera. So what you're doing.
By chance, will this be able to power 2 LCDs?
It's a good question. Get back to me on that.
Sure, no problem.
It's a popular question, and the answer is in spirit. That's all. That seems logical, so we do things most of the time that seem logical and helpful to the users. The other thing is that this camera has multiple video pathways, right? So we can send clean feed with red color out to the client monitor while you could be looking at RAW and focus exposure modes or anything else without them having to see that. Plus, we're also driving 1080p or 2K out of this camera while we're shooting 5K in it from the monitoring standpoint.
So the proxy module does a clean H.264. Can you also do overlays?
Again, it seems logical that you would want that, and you should be able to do that, and you will need to have the ability to have burn-ins.
Right.
So there would again be no reason we wouldn't want to pursue that.
There you go.
And is there any other? Is ProRes on the horizon for a possible module, or that's just
anything's possible?
Okay.
The really interesting thing about it, like I said before, it's market demand driven. With our Red Rocket card, it's so fast and so flexible to make multiple formats for offline that the question is, do you want to sort of lock yourself into one, or do you want to have everything under the sun in real time or faster, right? So it's kind of a methodology question. It's actually not as popular of a question as I thought it would be, quite honestly. Maybe because people are adopting this methodology of, well, one day we need DNX for that job, the next day we need ProRes LT for like offline, the next day we need an online ProRes, a 444 ProRes, the high bitrate forward, unless I can do all that in a module, which might be possible, but probably not easy to do. I prefer to have that flexibility in the hardware that sits with me on the set, right? Sort of instant lab. So it's a bit of a choice thing, but right now, it's really interesting. You can trend a lot just by talking to people and listening to people. When only one person out of 1,000 asks for something versus everybody asks for something, like many people have said multiple LCDs, not just EVF and LCD, many. So that's right? H.264 was huge. Instant dailies, it's like a logical codec to do that. Huge. so obviously makes sense. Other ones, no reason we can't do them. We just need to know from a customer standpoint what people want.
Right. Okay, well, thank you, Ted, so much. It's exciting. I just